Hey there. Given recent happenings in the good old US of A, I felt inclined to make this video. This video is a script I wrote myself, and it'll be lightly edited for the sake of clearly saying everything I want to say. What I mean is, I do pretty bad at both script reading aloud and improv, so this video will have multiple takes strung together seamlessly. That said, these thoughts and emotions have been boiling for months and years, but with the killings of Renee Good and Alex Preddy, they've reached a fever pitch, and I can no longer deny my overflowing discontent with the state of the states right now. If you're easily offended by even the tiniest bit of criticism towards Donald Trump and his administration, this video will most certainly not be for you. I don't care whose reticle I'm lining my head up for at the moment. If I don't speak up now, I'll never be inclined to speak up. I'm certainly aware my voice is puny compared to whatever media juggernauts are dominating these narratives. Hell, I may just be preaching to a choir consisting of myself, but now is the most important time to be exercising my freedom of speech. When it's threatened most. I'm of the belief that freedom of speech doesn't die when you're quiet, though that certainly doesn't help in dire times. It's when you try to speak, but others are too loud. And there's many layers to that sentiment I'll expound upon, but as it is, there's a very loud force that no earplug is going to help keep quiet. I'm referring to the sounds of bullets planted squarely in the head of Renee Good and in the back of Alex Preddy. To put it to you bluntly, our government has not only murdered two of its citizens in broad daylight, but labeled them domestic terrorists once their lives were stolen. For anyone who's bothered to view the clips, it's quite obvious that neither Renee Good nor Alex Preddy acted in any way that would suggest domestic terrorist. In fact, their last recorded words respectively were, "I'm not even mad at you," and "Are you okay?" And it's their voices that are ultimately stifled by these asshats in our current government. Stephen Miller, Kristi Noem, and Greg Bovino insist that it's the people they're supposedly protecting that act hostile, yet it's their agents committing gang violence. And I don't know how else to describe a man getting pepper sprayed, stripped of his phone and gun, held down and beaten by an entire squad of ICE agents, then shot to death in the street, if that's not gang violence to a fault. There's a lot of people that need to be pardoned immediately. But the bigger point here is that despite all the footage providing evidence to the contrary, our very own government is still trying to lie about it while being the loudest voice on the matter. They don't want you to see the footage related to the incidents. They don't want you to question why any of it's happening. They simply want you to see and hear what it is they want you to see and hear. Don't fall for it. If you're still someone that thinks either of these two victims warranted death, please reconnect your eyeballs to your brain, and don't use your eyeballs to look away, or your ears to listen to whatever talking head is prattling on about the subject. I include my own talking head in that statement too. All I ask is that you watch the snuff films, then compare it to the statements made by government officials to see if the reality lines up. And once you've done that, maybe consider what else this administration of cronies is trying to hide. I apologize for my crudeness, but at the same time, I've never felt more radicalized than seeing innocent people gunned down in the streets by their own lying government. A government that says it's looking for rapists and pedophiles, yet houses the biggest one of them all, and does nothing about it. I'm sorry, Renee Good. I'm sorry, Alex Preddy. You are victims of a failing society, a desperate display of power, and even in death you continue to be victimized and slandered. I can only hope that peace has found you now that you're gone.